Hello, everyone. I am Cartoon Kitsune, and welcome to yet another Toonkind at 12 FPS. Today, I will be playing the Mirror System. Specifically for today, I'll be playing as the lovely Lyra. And with me today is my wonderful co-host.
Hello, I'm Oatmeal, and I'll be playing the professor. Alien, time traveler, wanderer.
Ooh,
Um, yeah,
funky old man.
yeah,
And we figured that these two haven't had like a PS together in a while, and they should have like some
yeah,
fluffy little wholesome adventures for once. For no particular reason.
yeah. Uh, in completely unrelated news, this FPS takes place before the game titled The Mercenaries. Don't worry about.
It's fine. Don't even worry about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
Anyways,
hmm,
so I think this we say that this would like kind of start off with Prof and Lyra hanging out at the manor, which I
mhm.
assume like Prof visits every so often.
Oh yeah. Yeah. No, he visits uh I don't know, sporadically, I guess, because he's always like off doing things. But
Yeah.
like it's decently frequent. He hasn't had the chance to like have a full conversation with Xavier. Is that his name?
Yeah, that's his name, her butler.
Yeah. But he has been around.
Yeah, he's been around. He's probably served you guys tea more than like once or twice whenever you visited, and
Yeah.
probably I think like you and the mirror system probably like you tell them about like what kind of stuff you've seen on your travels. They tell you how
Hmm.
their magic training's going and all that.
Yeah.
Hey. And I think today you guys have kind of been discussing because it's sort of the beginning of summer right now, and you guys have kind of been
Mhm.
discussing like what sort of things you might want to do this summer, like maybe prof like what kind of things you like to do in the summer, that sort of thing.
Mhm.
Yeah. I don't know if there's anything specific you would have them bring up or
Um, Fishing is really good in the summer. But
yeah.
also, uh, and honestly, uh, like travel to specific destinations can be
Mhm.
better in the summer. Like, if it's too hot, you can go somewhere cooler. If it's, uh, you know, nice out, you can go to like the beach. Uh,
Yeah. I think that
just different stuff, I guess.
yeah. I think the girls definitely wanted to probably make a trip out to the beach at some point.
Mhm.
Yeah, I think at this point, I think Xavier probably comes by to like serve you guys tea as per usual. I think Lyra's the one who says, ask him like, what kind of stuff do folks over at Albinon do around this time of year? She's a bit curious about that, and he thinks for a
Mhm.
moment, and he responds with, well, now that I think about it, around this time of year would be when the social season would be starting up.
I see.
Hmm. Yes, it is certainly was a busy time of year back then for the nobility. Uh,
Mm, mhm,
yeah, numerous gatherings of all sorts, from balls to poetry reading to sporting events.
mhm, mhm,
Yeah, yeah. I think Lyra probably says, that's right. We had something similar back in Asturias, but our social season was a bit early in the year. It was, I believe, from January to, oh, it would be ending around this time now, actually. No wonder I feel so relaxed nowadays.
uh, the last bit garbled. January to, and then roboted.
Oh yeah, January to like June, like where they currently are in the year.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Huh. Did you, did you go to many of these social events?
And I think she kind of sweat draws and says, Yes, quite a few. Well, the majority of them were ones that my father would hold at our house. I didn't really get him out of the house that much, admittedly.
Hmm. Hmm. Were they, uh, well, I have a feeling you don't uh, like them especially much.
I mean, they weren't all
Is
bad. Mm,
remembering the scene from
yeah,
uh,
in the demi-plane.
yeah.
Yeah, having all those eyes on her, not terribly pleasant.
Mhm.
I think Xavier would probably chime in with something like, well, you're certainly not alone in feeling those events as a source of stress. Though in my former master's case, it was more that he considered them a distraction from the work that he could be doing at the time. So, at the very least, you're probably not the only noble out there who isn't a fan of such gatherings, and that gets it to rocks a tiny bit.
Oh yes, I mean they're always so. Every once in a while, you'll get one that's actually interesting, but the way they're the way they usually go, they're so stuffy and boring.
Mm-hmm. Well, that is often the case for well, high society in general, but certainly those events, the rather rigid decorum that one has to abide by. And Lyra kind
Oh,
of
I'm
nods in
aware.
agreement. Yeah. Yeah. Well, like I said, they weren't always so bad. I mean, it was nice seeing the all the different dresses people would wear, and listening to the
Mm.
music that would play at some of those dances was kind of nice.
Hmm. Yes, music could be good.
Honestly, I wouldn't mind going to something like that just to listen to music and dance if there weren't so many expectations on me.
Hmm. Well, maybe you enjoy something a little more casual. People do still hold balls and such on occasion, um, but there are also venues where you can just go dance for your own fun and amusement. And generally speaking, you're not expected to uh, uphold a standard. Just normal things like be nice to the other people.
And I think she kind of like lets it a light little chuckle. It's like, well, I think I can manage something like that. Are there any particular places you would know of? Because it does sound rather interesting.
Um, there's a few. There's a few places I frequent actually, but one in particular. There is this discotheque in uh, Toontown.
Discotheque.
Um,
Interesting.
yes, a disco. It's a particular style of dance and music, fashion, but well, they do hold other sort of events there. There's a swing night every once in a while, but it's mostly a disco, pretty upbeat. Very uh, the music is very good for dancing.
Hmm. And she's kind of like nodding along, and her face is pretty lit up. Like she looks pretty excited, like just by the concept of this. Hmm. Well, perhaps if you would be interested in accompanying me, I would like to I think I would like to see this place firsthand. Could be an interesting new experience.
Absolutely.
And I think she kind of glances over at the torty cat that's kind of been sleeping on the probably like the back of the sofa you guys are sitting on. It says,
Mhm.
Angelique, would that interest you at all? And she kind of just like does the big cat yawn and
Mhm.
presumably says something over their telepathic link. And Lyra says, She says she's not quite as interested. More so, she's a bit worried about getting stepped on in such a place like that.
Ah, mm, yes, that's fair. Perhaps another time.
Well, perhaps it can be an outing for just the both of you then, as Xavier will say.
Mm-hmm. That would be nice.
Yes. All right. Well, then I suppose I'll have to learn as much about this as I can so I can be prepared for when we go. First off, what is the dress code like there? I assume it's
No,
not quite as formal as
no,
I'm used
no.
to.
Right. Um, hmm. Well, there is not so much a dress code as much as there are some common sense trends that are recommended. For example, it's good to wear something that you can move around in, um, because the style of dancing is much less stiff than uh, some forms of the waltz that you would see in uh, places like where you're from. But um, other than that, uh, shoes. You're supposed to wear shoes.
Hmm.
Um, and I think at this establishment, it is. Yes, I do believe it is required that you keep your shirt on.
I think Lyra kind of like sweatshops at that, and Xavier kind of has like a blank look at his face and's like, "Well, I should certainly hope so. Wouldn't want you to bring the young lady to a place that wouldn't require such things."
No. Well, it goes for everybody, but yes, no, I suppose the standards are very different from what you're used to. Um, uh, I don't know, just if you don't want to, perhaps not something too flashy. Um, uh, at least flashy in the way that uh, hmm. No, I
Something that would
suppose it
be
really does depend.
something that would sort of fit in with the style of the club, but perhaps not overly such.
Yes, it really depends. For something that has it depends on the type of fancy, because something with a lot of I don't know, sequins would fit right in, whereas something with a lot of lace wouldn't so much.
Mhm. Yeah. And I think at this point we can probably say that like you guys probably discussed it for a while, maybe like in the days
Hmm.
in the days leading up to the outing, she probably does like a little more research to find something that would fit. And I actually do have
Hmm.
a fit in mind. Hang on, where did I put that?
Oh.
Uh, Dang, I think I lost the tab for it. One moment, please.
Hmm.
Well, while I'm looking that up, I think we can probably skip ahead to like the day of like when the outing is.
Hmm.
Okay, here it is. I found it. Okay, I'll put mine first.
Hmm.
All right, I'll spoil it for Scopo just to be safe.
Oh
Yeah,
my
so I did.
gosh.
Yeah, so I think like because I did do a little research beforehand, and a lot of these disco outfits, like the dresses, kind of have like skirts that would probably be a little shorter than Lyra would be comfortable with. So I figured I'd go with
Mhm.
like the bell bottoms and kind of the top that has like kind of the flowy
Mhm.
sleeves, that sort of thing.
Yeah, so she's got a lovely black blouse and sort of flared pants with rainbow sequins.
Yeah, and a nice little
And
gold belt around the middle.
yeah, very
Yeah,
stylish.
yeah. I think she's very pleased with her outfit. And out of curiosity, what would Prof be wearing to this
He
if he's
goes there
deciding to
all the
jet?
time, so he's not. He's wearing what he always wears.
That's fair. To be fair, it's certainly colorful enough, his usual outfit. So,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah. So I'd say you guys probably meet up at the manor and maybe like take the teleportation station over to Toontown.
Mhm,
Blah blah blah. Travel montage, all that good stuff.
mhm, mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And do you want to describe what this place sort of looks like?
Yes. Uh, Professor leads her to a building that has a sign on it that says Dancetron. Um,
Amazing name.
it it is very like uh uh very cyan and purple and kind of what we would consider a mix of very 70s and 80s aesthetics,
Hmm.
um, with a lot of flashy patterns and neon. Um, and there's uh, there's somebody at the well, there's a refrigerator next to the front door, but it seems to just be there as they go in through the front door and through the uh, tiny little sort of lobby area uh, and into the place. Um, it is you could hear the music from the outside, kind of a like beat in the background,
Hmm.
um, and it gets much louder here. Not deafening, but
Hmm.
certainly uh, um, and uh, the professor will put his he'll duck into the coat closet to um, put his coat away because
Hmm.
it's harder to dance in. So he's just gonna be here in his shirt sleeves and his vest,
Makes sense.
and his big old dumb scarf.
Of course, gotta have the scarf. And yeah, I think
um,
like the moment she walks in, like Lyra is just enthralled by this whole place. Just like the lights, the music, it's like so unlike anything she's ever seen.
and there are a lot that there's a fair amount of people here. I imagine Professor wouldn't take her like super late when it gets super busy, but it's
Hmm.
like, it's late enough that it's bopping, but
It'd be like late
it's
afternoon, early evening-ish.
yeah, yeah, but nobody's getting like too like saucy. I don't know. It is a disco.
Yeah.
But yeah, there are booths for people to sit at. Um, there is a bar in one corner. Um, there is a huge dance area with the and part of it has the patterned disco floor with the light up tiles,
Oh,
um,
nice.
and a disco ball overhead, scattering different colored lights. Um, it seems like there's a lot of floor you can dance on, but like uh, if you want to be in like the heart of the action or want people's attention, you go on the actual like disco floor.
Hmm. Yeah, I don't think Lyra is quite so eager to go right up there just yet. I think she's probably kind of, well, she's following prop, but I think she's more content to kind of skirt around the edge and just kind of observe for a while.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a bunch of people. A lot of them are people her age, or a little younger, or a little older. But then there are uh, smaller amounts of older people as well. Yeah, they've got um, most of them have pretty flashy outfits. Some of them look like they're just wearing their day-to-day clothes, like just uh, the same thing you'd see somebody wearing on the street.
Hmm. Yeah.
And a good number of people are dancing.
Yeah. I think Lyra's probably kind of gives herself lucky that she kind of went for a more low key version of the disco outfit because she went anything too flashy. She's probably feeling a lot more self conscious right now.
Hmm.
Yeah.
All right. So, do you want to um, do you want to get on the dance floor first, or shall we maybe get a drink and sit and watch for a bit before we do so?
I think like almost immediately she answers, yes, let's get a drink first if that's quite all right. I think I'd like to observe the dance floor for a little bit, just so I can sort of learn the style of dancing, so to speak. And I
Of
don't think you
course,
even
of
need to roll.
course.
Yeah, you don't even need to roll insight to know that. Yeah, she's definitely like not quite confident enough to be like strutting out on the dance floor right away.
Yeah, that's fair. So yeah, he'll lead her over to the bar, um, and he'll uh, explain like you can't have an alcoholic drink because you're not old enough here. Um,
Oh, oh, of course, I wouldn't want to anyway. It doesn't really interest me. I don't really like to taste either. Yeah.
um, Otherwise, there are plenty of sodas and mocktails, which
Hmm.
are just kind of uh, fruity drinks that normally would be alcoholic but aren't.
I don't think I've tried anything like that before. Any you would recommend, or you don't have to come up with one on spot if
Hmm.
you don't have one. But isn't there one that's like it's like cranberry and like seltzer water? I've heard that one's pretty good.
Ooh, yeah,
Yeah, I can't
sure,
remember the
yeah.
name of it, but it was something like that. It sounded really good.
Hmm. Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, he'd kind of just look and see what kind of options there were and ask like, all right, do you like something sweet or something tart, or
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
figure out like, okay, you should probably try that one.
Yeah, definitely.
So yeah, he orders that for her and for himself. Um, yeah, he'll get the same thing actually.
Oh, that's nice. Yeah. I think you guys probably get your drinks, maybe like find a table or something and sit down, probably close enough to the dance
Mhm.
floor that you can like get a good view of all the folks who are dancing.
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah. I think Lyra's just like sipping her drink and like very intently like watching the dancers.
Hmm.
Hmm. Well, this is certainly a unique style of dancing. I've never seen anything quite like it before. There's quite a bit of pointing. That's interesting. See people doing like the disco point.
Uh-huh. Yes, this uh involves hmm, perhaps more expressive moves with the arms than a waltz
Hmm.
or
Yes,
a
it's.
typical couples dance.
Mhm. It is fascinating. On the surface, it doesn't look nearly as coordinated as a waltz or other formal sorts of dance, and yet the more I watch, I can see that there is a sense of coordination to it. It all goes along to the beat of the song.
Hmm. Absolutely. And then you've got a few people who, uh, if you've got a few people particularly in tune with each other,
Hmm.
uh, will do the same moves. And honestly, the more people that you have doing that, it looks very impressive.
I guess you say that there's probably like maybe like a small group of people like probably doing exactly that because I mean these are tunes, so if anyone could like
Oh
pull out a
yeah.
coordinated dance number right out of nowhere.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And he'll like explain like the rhythm and like some uh basic steps and like especially foot movements to like give a very um something to work off of that's simple without getting
Hmm.
too complex.
You'll also note there's a there's quite a bit of hip movements as well in this. I suspect if anyone from back home saw this sort of thing, they'd call this den of debauchery or something of the like. She kind of chuckles to herself.
uh yes, probably. It's certainly a uh it's certainly quite the department
Hmm.
that society.
Hmm.
Uh, culture is quite different.
Yeah, I think she continues watching for a while, and you can roll insight on her if you wanna.
Yeah. Oh wow. That's a 19 on the die. What
Ooh,
is your
very good.
insight, Professor? Your insight is okay. 23 total.
Ooh, nice. Yeah, that's perfect. Yeah, I think after a while, like you can get the sense that like she definitely wants to like go out on the dance floor. Like she's seeing how much fun everyone else is, and she really does want to join in. And yet she doesn't like get up. And I think at a few points, like maybe it looks like she almost wants to get up, but then like her hands, like her grip kind of tenses like around her drink a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
So like she wants to join in, but like there's definitely something that's like kind of making her hesitate and kind of hold back.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Um, he just leans forward a little bit and tilts his head. Would it help if I went out with you, or is there something else?
Um, no, it's a bit silly. She kind of like shrinks a little, kind of like looking into her glass. So she doesn't have to make eye contact.
Well,
Huh.
let's hear it.
Well, I suppose it's strange. I mean, it's certainly not as I don't feel the sort of pressure I would at the balls I would go to back home, and yet, well, there's still that sort of I guess I worry about looking foolish if I don't dance properly or a dozen other things. I don't know. Like I said, it's rather silly.
No, no, I think that's perfectly normal. Um, there is a certain level of attention that comes from uh, being out there among the other people. Um, and certainly, I think it's normal for people to uh, fear making mistakes, but
Hmm.
uh, you don't you don't have to um, be afraid of it because nothing. If you make a mistake, uh, there are no punishments. Nothing happens. you simply continue doing what you want to do. Uh, yes, occasionally you will meet people who will uh, laugh when somebody else falls or something. I mean, uh, it's certainly popular enough among toons. I mean, comedy pratfalls, but it's uh, it's usually all in good fun, and more likely, in a place like this, more likely you'll just have somebody try to help you up. I've been here before, and the usual crowd is uh, mostly decent people, I've found.
I think she kind of nods along, but I think with that insight you got earlier, you can tell this that like she believes you because of course you never have a reason to lie to her about this, and it all makes sense and all.
Mhm.
But well, you saw enough in the demi-plane to know that it was very much not the case for pretty much her entire life. Like if
Oh,
she did,
yeah.
yeah, screw up, like even something simple as a dance, like she would be like ridiculed or even punished. And when
Hmm.
you've lived that like that for such a long time, it's kind of hard to unlearn that even in a completely different environment like this.
You cut out.
Oh,
Meant like
where did I cut out at?
even a completely different environment, like,
Like
and then
this.
something.
Yeah, like this.
Okay, okay.
Yeah. So yeah, basically it's
Hmm.
just kind of hard to
Hmm.
like sort of kind of push those like sort of thoughts and like expectations aside, like even after all this time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hmm. Yeah. He ponders that as he sips his drink, and uh, he looks out on the dance floor, and uh, he he leans forward again and uh, hmm, well, she can't see very well, but he tries to point out somebody without actually like pointing, but like there's somebody with a very brightly colored um, shirt. It's easy to distinguish from the others. Um, who's technically speaking very bad at dancing. Observe them for a minute.
And she will do just that.
And yeah, this person is very clumsy. Um, and their moves are not the refined or uh, on rhythm movements that some of the other people are making. Um, but they're uh, smiling, and the people around them are smiling, and uh, they seem to be enjoying themselves anyway, just kind of moving around to the music.
Yeah. Lyra would be lying to herself if she said she wasn't a tiny bit envious of that. To just be able to go out and like, make a fool of yourself, but like not even care because you're just having so much fun. And you can definitely
Hmm.
see her like kind of smiling a little bit as she watches this.
So that's at least a little bit of proof. But if you feel up to it, uh, we can try.
And I think she's like kind of contemplates this for a moment, and then she'll say, "Well, I suppose I did come out here wanting to try new things, so there's not much point in that if I just sit here all night."
That's true.
Yeah.
And uh, if you truly feel upset, then we can uh, go back to our seat for a little bit.
Yeah. She nods, and I think she'll get up. She'll get up from the booth, but like she kind of hesitates for a moment. And I think she might like. Do you think like Prof might offer his hand to her to kind of lead her out to
Oh
the dance
yeah,
floor? Yeah.
yeah. He'll be getting up at the same time and leading her out,
Eh,
holding hands.
nice. Right. And I think we could probably roll performance for both of them just to see how they
Yeah.
do. Yeah.
Hmm.
Let's see. What's your? Hmm. I'm tempted to do disadvantage just because like she's never danced like this before.
Sure.
Yeah. At least for like the first roll, like she can probably like do another just for like her starting out. Let's see.
Yeah.
It's a 14. It's not too bad. 14 and a 15.
Yeah. Professor rolled low, but he has a high mod.
That's true.
Uh,
Yeah.
so he got a 15. And she has a 14. So they're honestly, he wouldn't lead her in anything too complex.
Yeah.
Um, but they're doing like about the same. Like uh, even he who like knows how to do this will occasionally like go off beat, have to wait a second, and
Mhm.
get back into it. But other than that, I'd say they're doing quite well and are generally um, on with the rhythm and doing some of the same steps as everybody else.
Yeah. I think Lyra would probably be kind of following Professor's lead. Of, like if he doesn't move, she'll probably try to mimic it, that sort of thing.
Yeah, yeah, and he'll absolutely go along with that and try to like show her different things to try.
Yeah. I will put this in the rules zone because it's I mean there's plenty of good disco songs out there, but this one kind of came to mind as like one that could be cute for them to dance to. It's a classic.
Oh, absolutely. Yep, I know that one.
Yeah.
Uh, I can't. I'm not gonna play it on recording, but
Of course
it is
not.
September by Earth, Wind and Fire, a
Yeah.
classic.
Yeah. I
Yeah,
think he's
so something just
definitely.
kind of chill.
Yeah. And she definitely stumbles a little bit at first, but as she kind of gets into the groove of it, I think you can definitely see she's smiling and just having a great time.
Yeah,
Yeah. I think it's kind of cool because, like, Lyra is one of the more like kind of reserved members of the system. She's kind of a bit more, she's usually very composed, very calm, that sort of thing. Seeing her kind of like smiling and laughing and having fun, dancing around, even if it's not like perfect. It's a kind of
yeah,
a different side you haven't gotten to see of her.
yeah.
Yeah,
I imagine.
yeah,
Oh,
sort of letting loose for once.
absolutely. And I imagine like maybe with her dancing, like it starts out a little stiff and like
Hmm.
some of the more out there moves, like she'll do it in a very sort of reserved sort of way,
Yeah,
but then like starts to loosen up and
hmm,
gain more confidence with a specific move
yeah,
and like yeah.
yeah. Yeah, I think at one point, like maybe she does like a particularly enthusiastic like point or something, or like gesture, and like her glasses get knocked askew a little bit, and she looks a bit silly, but she just kind of like smiles and like fixes her glasses, like not even caring.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
The professor is beaming at her.
Yeah. Let's see. Do you want to do another performance, like just to see how they keep doing?
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
And this one will be how we're doing normally. Ooh, 24.
Wow, it's more than professor. You got a
17.
17.
Well, it's still better than his last one, so yeah.
Yeah. I think maybe she she's confident enough, like, doing her own thing that, like, she starts to look at what other people around them are doing and, like, adopt some of their moves.
Yeah.
Uh, and she's, like, uh, really in the groove
Hmm. Yeah.
with
I
a
think with a role like
24.
that, yeah, she might even be getting like a couple looks from people like because she's doing really well now.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I think she's got, uh I think, there are some people who are, like, definitely, uh, like, dancing near them, uh,
Hmm.
on purpose, uh, like, to just kind of vibe together.
Yeah.
And, smiling, like, just part of the whole sort of, uh, dancey, uh, group, um, thing.
Yeah. Yeah. I think like she's at this point like she's getting so into the groove of it that like because before she was like very much like sticking close to Professor because she was like nervous 'cause, like that's her emotional support, one person she knows at this party.
Yes, yes,
Yeah.
absolutely.
I think as she kind of goes on, like she's not like as like constantly looking to see professors there. She's like maybe she starts dancing with like a couple other folks that are like close to her age, that sort of thing.
Yeah,
Yeah. Like she's still nearby and you
absolutely,
can still
yeah.
see her, so you don't like lose her in the crowd or anything. But yeah,
Yeah, yeah, a few people will, like, gesture, like, "Hey, we're gonna, like, do a sort of, like, step this way and then do a funny move, and then step this way and do a funny move." Like, like, join sort of a small little movement. It's not synchronized, like, perfectly, but it's like,
yeah,
they're definitely dancing together as a group.
yeah. I think she goes along with that pretty well.
Yeah.
Yeah. And,
Somebody probably, like, compliments her outfit.
and there's definitely a bit of a light blush, like when she gets complimented, and she gives a very like polite little thank you. Yeah, yeah. And if we
Dancing.
have any other specific stuff that would happen this particular night, or if they just kind of just dance the night away.
Uh, yeah, no, I think that's about it. Professor probably, like, at some point waves to somebody he knows. He's got some like, friends here, but other than that, yeah,
Yeah,
they can just chill. It seems like it's going really well.
yeah. So I think like you probably don't stay like too late, but for the rest of
Mhm.
the evening, stay there and you have a grand old time. I think as you guys are heading back to the manor in the evening, like she's just going on and on about like how great it was and how like that one song was so much fun and they should look for it
Mhm.
like a record of it to add to her collection and that sort of thing.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I think she probably say something like "Huh, if you wouldn't mind, I wouldn't mind going back there some other time."
Certainly. Perhaps we can, well, who do I know who's good at dancing? Uh, Leo's a pretty good dancer.
Yes, we've heard about that. That could be quite fun as well. And she doesn't get like quite as blushy as Aurelia is, but you can probably imagine that internally, certain members of the system might be getting a bit more flustered at the thought of that.
Uh,
Maybe even imagining like her and Leo dancing together like that.
uh-huh, uh-huh. uh, yeah, Professor just grins. He's very happy that, she had a good time.
Yeah. And with that, I think we can probably end it here for now.
Yeah,
Yeah, it was a cute one. Sort of a short and sweet little FPS.
yeah, absolutely. All right. Thank you for playing with me. It was very nice.
Yeah,
Um,
thank you for joining me with
uh,
this. I had a great time.
yeah, I'm glad. Thank you for listening, our audience, present and future. We will wish you a good time zone.
Bye,
Bye.
everybody.